12 Lessons in Depression Therapy. How volunteering and helping others restore meaning to life. Prologue. Years ago, fate led me to a Buddhist monastery, where I spent the following 2 years of my life. This monastery was unusual, as the monks cared for people struggling with addiction. Drawing on Thai herbal medicine and Buddhist discipline, they developed one of the most effective addiction therapies in the world. It was only at Proloque Monastery that I truly saw how serious the problem of addiction is, how deeply it alters the human psyche, and how it destroys not only the person affected, but also everyone around them. I comforted suffering mothers whose children had fallen into drug or alcohol addiction. I took patients on long walks through the tropical bush surrounding the monastery. I meditated with them in wild, underground caves. I climbed high rocks with them, from which breathtaking views of the surrounding nature unfolded. I tried to keep that small ray of light, one that colors the world in brighter hues, as close to their eyes as possible. Helping people with addictions moved me so deeply that I continued this work even after leaving the monastery, offering the techniques and methods I had learned at Proloque to friends and acquaintances, both close and distant. This gave me not only a sense of satisfaction, but also a profound experience of meaning and mission, one that gradually began to fade after I left Thailand. In India, I taught children English. I did the same in Sri Lanka. I organized aid initiatives during the COVID-19 pandemic, taught principles of self-sufficiency, shared Buddhist knowledge, and conducted rituals. Yet I truly came into my own only when fate led me to a Catholic mission in Tanzania. There, I helped street children, orphans, and people with disabilities. In a former center for the mentally ill, I supported them psychologically and, thanks to the generosity of my friends, also materially, by organizing business workshops, supporting self-employment, and renovating and modernizing mission facilities. Through this work, I did not only try to help those in need, above all, I gathered experiences that significantly sharpened my view of the world. Addiction ceased to be a separate problem for me. I began to see it as a symptom of a deeper mental dysfunction, similar to other psychological disorders. Addiction turned out to be the smoke, while the fire was an improper system of self-identification and attachment, what Buddhism describes with a single term, ego. Today, I no longer help in the same physical way. I have left behind the harsh life of the third world. I sit in a comfortable chair instead of on the ground, and I no longer sleep on a hard floor. Yet the taste of helping still drives me to act. It is difficult to give it up once you have experienced it. All the more so because I can still help by sharing what I have learned through books. Recently, I wrote a guide devoted to coping with schizophrenia. When I reflect on this illness, I notice many similarities to depression. Both conditions often share a common origin, biological vulnerability combined with a trigger in the form of prolonged stress. From this follows that the basic framework of therapeutic work, understood as stabilization, regulation, relationship, and meaning, may be just as effective in depression, and in many cases even safer to apply. In Tanzania, almost by accident, I discovered how powerful an impact working with children can have on people struggling with depression. Just a few weeks of volunteering in a shelter or orphanage could significantly change the experience of depression, so much so that its symptoms became noticeably weaker and less dominant, both in my observations and in the subjective experience of those involved. experiences related to addiction, anxiety, phobias, and schizophrenia led me to the conclusion that it is worth proposing a therapeutic model that, at least on a theoretical level, is enriched by an element of working with children in need of support. In Africa, this proved to be surprisingly effective, although I am fully aware that such a solution cannot be transferred directly, one-to-one, into the realities of the Western world. Nevertheless, I believe it is worth understanding the mechanisms that help alleviate depression and attempting to apply them within one's own living environment. I have witnessed the beneficial impact of working with orphans both on my friends struggling with depression and on myself, even though I do not suffer from depression. This experience was so valuable and unique that it deserves to be treated not only as a therapeutic method, but also as a preventive way of living with greater calm and harmony, even for those who do not perceive clear psychological difficulties in themselves. The therapeutic system proposed in this book is based on experiences of monastic life, my personal therapeutic work carried out in several countries, and the achievements of clinical psychotherapy that dominate in the Western world. It is therefore not a new, miraculous technique unknown to science, but an extension of official academic models of therapy, enriched with an element of a caring relationship and work with responsibility.